Coming up.
Ooh, actually, you've just reminded me.
That's what 99 episodes will do for you.
No way. All right, okay.
That's the story of my life, mate.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear.
That's what my husband says to me every day.
We're the only people that can imagine what the voiceover looks like.
We could try it if you wanted to.
An angry masseuse.
That was a particularly tricky knot.
Which is almost an uncomfortable listen, isn't it?
As the actress said to the bishop. Yes, absolutely.
This is different.
Or something that was just curious.
Do you mean like formulaic?
You unromantic, you.
And so near to Christmas as well.
It's getting under the skin of something.
I don't know, so just a window into my world.
Not at all, it's bone dry.
How exciting. And now, enjoy the podcast.
How do you say that?
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 Hello and welcome to today's episode of How Do You Say That, sponsored by VoxBox, the portable, foldable, storable audio booth. This is my co-host, Mark Rice.
Hello, and this is my co-host for episode 99,
Yes,
Sam
of
Boffin.
course. Yeah, absolutely. And we are about to have our weekly hit of voiceover fun with some scripts and a brand new guest.
Yes, so welcome to the practical podcast for voiceovers and everyone else who works with voices. And here's a thought. If you listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, just hit the follow button and then the newest episode will drop into your feed every Friday morning.
Now, this week, spookily, our fun facts happen to be the same.
Dun, dun, dun.
We are, well, actually, I say we're both waiting for, but actually mine has already come. We're both waiting for a visit from a different Sparks.
Yeah.
Why, Mark? Why are we
Because
waiting?
both of us have boilers that are on the fritz. Mine is doing hot water but no heating. What about you?
Mine is doing the same, hot water and no heating. But if you hear any banging going on in the background, it's because my Sparks is actually fixing that. No,
Mine is coming
now.
later. Fingers crossed they turn up. But I have a horrible feeling because my boiler's over 15 years old that they might say I need a new one.
Oh, nah, it'd be all right.
Yeah.
Be all right.
Yeah, fingers
And
crossed.
of course, we do both have the same special guest with us, of course.
That's true.
So, voiceover Jack Oddie. Hello,
Hi,
Jack.
Jack.
Hi. I just got nervous when we started.
No.
I'm all right.
There's no need for nerves. It's only us.
I'm all right.
Yeah, I know.
I'm all right now.
Let's find out more about the amazing Jack, shall we?
Jack is the winner of several industry awards,
Just a few.
including Best International Voiceover Performance at One Voice USA. And he's been voicing full-time for 8 years. He's probably best known for his reads with a Northern English lilt, but he also enjoys working for Nicktoons and anything where he's allowed to attempt a bit of comic timing.
Indeed. Well, he lives in Newcastle with 2 kids, 2 dogs and his partner Natasha, who he runs his second business with, the local Newcastle franchise of Tri-Tag Rugby. They teach people how to play Tri-Tag and then take them into Newcastle pubs to play in teams. Excellent. Welcome to the podcast, Jack. What's
Hi.
your fun fact, please?
My fun fact is that where my studio is based, the building has had many different media tenants, including CBBC, where the internals of Biker Grove and Tracy Beaker and things like that
Like that.
were filmed. Yeah. And the
all I
other
can do.
tenants include... That's debatable, Mark. And the other
Oi!
ones you could do are... the other tenants, we've had the God Channel, the Horror Channel.
The God Channel, nice.
And the
Yeah.
Horror Channel.
Yeah, well, it gets better. Does it get better? There's more. The like a TV channel where, well, it's an adult. There was some adult production company in here.
Adult entertainment.
Adult
And now
entertainment.
it's an LGBTQ plus
Oh my
media
God.
centre. Does anyone else know of another LGBT media centre in the world? Because we think this is the only one.
Isn't every media centre an LGBTQ plus centre?
Ooh.
By
Yeah, but we've got it above
almost
the door.
by definition.
Yeah.
You've got it on the door, yeah? Love it.
Well, on that, you usually do the puns into this.
On that
Mark,
rainbow
what's the
note,
pun?
go on. On
Thank
that
you.
rainbow note, there you go.
So on that rainbow note, let's have a look at our first script of the show and ask, how do you say that?
How do you say that?
So this is a script that I did very recently, last week.
Sam, what is this? I don't know what it is. What's the
Good
context?
basic question there,
What?
Jack.
Well, it's a radio play about a woman called Nancy Cunard. Virtually unknown now, which was the whole point of the radio play. She was an incredible woman. She was part of the Cunard shipping.
That was my question, yep.
Yeah, she was part of the... But she is British, in fact. She had an American mother, British father. Yeah, she is virtually unknown now, and yet she was a real, a real mover and a shaker in her time in the 1920s and 1930s. She did the most incredible things, and was a broadcast journalist during the war, and yet she died a sort of pauper's death in Paris in the 60s. But she's got an incredible story. Anyway, that's what this is.
Going back to style, is this a character within the radio play that is doing this kind of almost narrator style part?
This is Nancy Cunard.
Herself.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I've started reading it a little bit. Now I've got that from Sam.
Yep. So shall I have a go first?
Yeah, sure.
And then Jack, and then you can show us what you did. So into a character of an older, fine. Okay. So looking back on their life. Okay. So what makes a good life? To have done something important, do you need to be named? To have made a difference, do you need to have an image which is instantly recognised? Do you need 1 million tweets and 1 billion followers? An Oscar-winning biopic? Is the business of a life lived to the full only worth knowing if you yourself are known? A tree falling in the empty forest is not unheard. If nothing else, it's noticed by the other trees. So I fall back into the silence of history.
Very nice. What did you think, Jack?
Yeah, nice read. I can't really fault it other than I think maybe you could try just maybe getting a little bit more close to the mic and making it a bit more personal, as in you really are talking to yourself.
A bit more intimate.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
This is a completely intimate thought with one's self rather than broadcasting it. I don't know. That might not be right, by the way.
Internalised.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
It is a very internal piece, this. I think she's musing to herself on what it was that makes... she thinks she's led a good life. Yeah. But nobody's ever heard of her. So it's quite a poignant piece, really. She did make a difference, but nobody knows anything about her. Yeah. So there's a sadness, a sadness to this.
Is she sad though, or is she sort of satisfied with?
Well,
maybe she's all right.
Yes, because it could be read either way. Yeah.
Well, I suppose I was more musing. Well, you'll see what I did eventually. Yeah. But what was interesting about it was that you aged your voice up.
Yes.
In that you made that. So that was a definite choice. Did you? It was a lighter, more quavery version of you.
Yep. Deliberately.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Jack, do you want to go?
Yeah, that's all right. Okay. All right, cool. So what makes a good life? To have done something important, do you need to be named? To have made a difference, do you have to have an image which is instantly recognised? Do you need 1 million tweets and 1 billion followers? An Oscar-winning biopic? Is the business of a life lived to the full only worth knowing if you yourself are known? A tree falling in the empty forest is not unheard. If nothing else, it's noticed by the other trees. So I fall back into the silence of history.
Well, that was
lovely. That was really internal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think there was a real sadness to that.
Yeah.
A real sadness came out there.
Yeah, there was no performative sense, which in a good way.
Indeed.
I'm not saying, she wasn't performing, or he wasn't, but, this was a real internal dilemma, if you like, or something that was just curious.
And I think you went in much more downbeat than I suspect either of us were expecting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was a choice because I stood back from my mic after you'd said, so what makes a good life, thinking, oh, right, this is different.
Yeah, it is a lovely bit of copy, actually, now that we know the context. But because you can do loads with that.
Yeah, we tried a lot of different things, actually, when we were rehearsing it, because it morphs into her kind of rather sad, very sad death. It's an interesting sort of question to leave the whole play on.
Yeah.
Do you want to show us what you did, Sam?
I will, yeah, okay. So what makes a good life? To have done something important, do you need to be named? To have made a difference, do you have to have an image which is instantly recognised? Do you need 1 million tweets and 1 billion followers, an Oscar-winning biopic? Is the business of a life lived to the full only worth knowing if you yourself are known? A tree falling in the empty forest is not unheard, if nothing else. It's noticed by the other trees. So, I fall back into the silence of history.
The sadness came through in that as well.
Yeah, I felt sad. So well done. Because yeah, you sounded like you were really asking the life's big questions there and stuff, and being very honest with yourself, which is almost an uncomfortable listen, isn't it? Because you in a good way, like, because you don't. It's not a nice thing to sort of a thought process to kind of. You've got to be really honest with yourself, don't you? And we don't necessarily know what we think her answer is there.
And it also in the context, of course, these things are so tiny, these little bits that we choose to bring here, that in the context of the wider play, she's all sorts of things. You know, she's militant at times. She's, she's a lover at times. She's a mover and a shaker. She's a journalist. She's hard-hitting. And then she's all sorts of things.
I have to say, I completely disagree with the Schrodinger's cat part about a tree falling in the empty forest is not unheard. It's absolutely unheard. The other trees don't hear it. Nobody hears it.
Come on, be a little bit deeper.
Mark,
no,
come on.
It's like
you're for the pies.
Wow.
I know.
You unromantic.
So near to Christmas as well.
And moving on, I feel.
It's worthwhile remembering that these are real scripts we're working on, but we have changed some names and some details to avoid copyright issues. And while we're on the subject of scripts, you can find both the ones that we're using today in the show notes of this episode so you can follow along.
Yes, I like how you picked up the energy there, though. I like that segue. Woo-hoo. Okay, so Jack, tell us about your script.
Is that what I do it now, or are you still taking the mick out of Mark? All right, okay, good.
No, please do.
I mean, we can continue the Mickey taking if you like, but we do want to hear about your script.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. This was something from a few weeks ago, actually, because I wanted to find something that we could play with and do different ways and things like that. So, this was a video played before an award ceremony. I don't know how much more you want to learn about it.
Is it a football ceremony? Is it about football?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So
good. So it's not completely taking one subject and throwing it into a different arena.
No. It was before the LMA awards, which is the League Managers Association. So all the football managers were there, and they get awards at the end of the season.
Oh.
And this is inspiring at this point. Yes, if you had to choose a word for this?
The one word I would choose for this is sympathetic, because the way I took this is the people we're talking to here are incredibly public, but they have an incredibly lonely job where you believe in your ways of working and you trust your own process. It must be incredible the noise you get from fans and media and stuff who, with the benefit of hindsight, tell you you're doing it wrong.
Jack, I see why Sam asked that question, because you can read this in a really inspiring, upbeat way. What you're saying is it's much more insular than that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how I did it in part. I moved it about a bit.
Not the way I was thinking to do it at all. That's kind of put it on its head for me in a way.
It's kind of like it's empathetic. It's like we get you, we understand. Like, many people outside this room won't understand it, but we know. So that's kind of what I did with it, but I did inspire. I did. There's different factions to it as well.
I'm still thinking about that. It's turned it on its head from what I was originally thinking.
Okay,
so
I'll let you get on with thinking that then.
Okay.
I had no preconceptions, so it hasn't done anything. Right? Okay, so it's wearing your heart on your sleeve, but keeping you cool. The noise, the chants, points won, points lost. To win the cup or just stay up. We go again. We march on. Win games and you'll be fine. Football. Bloody hell. It's turning up and never giving up. Meeting triumph and disaster. Dust yourself down. Pick yourself up and face the arena. To coach. to lead, to deliver, to succeed. You just do it.
I think that was about halfway between the two things that I was considering.
My dear.
There's like a realism to it, isn't there? Yeah.
Realisation, that's a better word, yeah.
I thought it was nice. I thought it was really good. Yeah, it's good because it's like, the football bloody hell line. That is such an you're just saying, you're not talking to the audience there, you're talking to yourself. Like, bloody hell. Like, what a thing we're in. I thought that was nice. Yeah. The line, win games and you'll be fine. Apparently, that's in the industry, that's what they're always told over and over again. Win games, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Right, okay. So all you've got to do is win games and you'll be fine.
So I imagine when that line is said, maybe the room will probably smirk a little bit and go, before.
Interesting. I am no further along deciding where I am with this.
But that's good, isn't it?
I've almost discounted the original idea. Which is sad because I thought that would be good. But
do the original.
Really quite upbeat, quite inspiring. It's like the top end of corporate inspiring.
This script's like the first scripts. Like that could work.
Yeah, but this is how you would do it in a real. Anyway, I'm going to go away from that, and I'm going to try something, and I don't know if it's going to work.
Go on.
It's wearing your heart on your sleeve, but keeping you cool. The noise, the chants. Points won, points lost. To win the cup or just stay up. We go again. We march on. Win games and you'll be fine. Football, bloody hell. It's turning up and never giving up. Meeting triumph and disaster. Dust yourself down, pick yourself up, and face the arena. To coach, to lead, to deliver, to succeed. You just do it.
Wow. Okay.
If I was directing, the only thing I'd say is lose the drama of it by sort of 10 or 15%. I think. Yeah. No, it's interesting because we were saying try it that way, but now we've heard it. I would say. I don't know what you think, Sam, but
take it even further down.
What I thought was interesting was that you were more subdued in the first part.
Yes.
So for anybody looking at this script, it's in two, it's a script of two halves.
But I thought that after I got to bloody hell, it was almost a reconsideration.
Yeah, but that's when you, for me, that's when you ramped up the drama. And
because I had a reconsideration.
Yeah. Okay.
After that thought.
So that makes sense, I suppose.
I preferred the first part, I think. Yeah.
Like we say, though, the wider script is vast.
But that's a really good point, though, Jack, because that's one of the things I think that people often have a measured pace throughout something. And actually what brings a script to life, well, a longer script, obviously, but what often brings a script to life is the different pacing throughout it.
Yes.
So finding those points where you can pivot and do go to different places.
It's great as well because sometimes that can literally just be a syllable.
Yeah.
And so subtle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or so obvious.
Yeah.
I'm having loads of fun. This is so cool.
So yes. So what did you do with it?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Cool. It's wearing your heart on your sleeve, but keeping you cool. The noise, the chants. Points won, points lost. To win the cup or just stay up. We go again. We march on. Win games and you'll be fine. Football, bloody hell. It's turning up and never giving up. Meeting triumph and disaster. Dust yourself down, pick yourself up and face the arena. To coach, to lead, to deliver, to succeed, you just do it.
Nice.
More somber.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, absolutely, from what we were talking about.
Do you know, there was... I loved it all, but that the triumph and disaster, because, of course, that's a quote, isn't it? That's a quote from a poem, a Rudyard Kipling poem, isn't it?
I'm just going to agree and pretend I know.
Triumph and disaster. Well, I think so.
You're very intelligent, Sam. Yes, let's both agree with that.
No, but what I mean is it's a famous quote, meeting triumph and disaster just the same. It's a war poem. I think both Mark and I sort of not so much skated over it, but you made the difference. Triumph and disaster are two completely different things, and you really made the most of that.
You really did.
But,
yes.
But in a quite a delicate way and quite a subtle way. Yeah, no, I loved it. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Let's see if we can change what we do with these scripts now. Jack, it's time for the wild card. Can you pick one of the scripts, either for Sam or for me, and give us a new direction, a new way of thinking about it?
Oof, what a question. Yes. Okay. Let's have a look. Let's go. Script 1.
Who would you like?
I don't know. Let's have Sam. Let's have you, because this is your script, and let's take this out of the context of what it is in terms of the play and the specific person we're talking about. And I would like you to do this as if you are trying to give advice to people who, like a room of teenagers or something, who are about to embark on their life. So rather than reflecting on life, I would like you to look to give advice in a vague way to people who are about to go about their business.
Cool.
What setting are you thinking, Sam?
Well, I think it's not a great big assembly. I think this is much more of an intimate sort of tutorial type thing. That's what I'm imagining anyway. So it's a little bit. So okay.
Right.
Okay. Right. So what makes a good life? Look, to have done something important, do you need to be named? To have made a difference? Do you need to have an image which is instantly recognised? Do you need 1 million tweets and 1 billion followers? An Oscar-winning biopic or biopic? Take your choice. Is the business of a life lived to the full only worth knowing if you yourself are known? Imagine this. A tree falling in the empty forest is not unheard. If nothing else, it's noticed by the other trees. So I fall. Back into the silence of history.
It was very real. I got a really a really real person. I was being talked to by an absolutely rounded real person.
I thought that was more. I thought that landed more with me than it did in the context of the play.
Yeah, agreed.
And I don't know if that's because you were a teacher and teachers make you see things. I don't know. But it was good, and you were sort of, you weren't a peer with them, but you were kind of, you respected them, and as in the class.
In terms of visualization, it was interesting because I do teach young groups of students, and when you're talking to them, you're sort of at various moments in whatever you're saying, you're sort of appealing to because there's always the joker in the room. There's always different types of people out there. Yeah. And you literally look them in the eye so often, but you're trying to take in the whole group. So that's exactly what I was doing. I was imagining specific people that I was talking to at any given time. But it was really, really interesting. It was, odd to take that one and turn it on its head.
Jack, I've got an interesting one for you, and we're going to go for the Good Life script one again, but I would quite like it from the perspective of a First World War Tommy in the trenches in World War One. So bombs are falling around, but looking on life at that point, where life might be extinguished at any moment. So there's a terror behind it, but I think it resonates.
Am I scared then, or have I just sort of...
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Terrified.
Oh, bloody hell, Mark. All right.
I know that your acting chops could do this because you are the man.
About to be found out. Okay. All right. Thanks, mate. See, okay. So what makes a good life? To have done something important, do you need to be named? To have made a difference, do you have to have an image which is instantly recognised? Do you need 1 million tweets and 1 billion followers? An Oscar-winning biopic? Is the business of a life lived to the full only worth knowing if you yourself are known? A tree falling in the empty forest is not unheard. If nothing else, it's noticed by the other trees. So I fall. back into the silence of history.
Oh.
That was very close to tears at points there. That really came across, but defiant as well, I think.
I thought I started poorly.
Oh,
yeah, I did. Yeah,
Interesting.
but then
So I didn't think you did, but what effect did that have on you then? Where did you think, oh God, I've got to turn this round? It didn't seem like that to me.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I think I probably got kind of better around the million tweets line, and then and then from that is the business of life. I sort of thought that we were getting really shelled then, and it was looking very likely that any second now that was it.
The
fright certainly came through. The scared nature really came through,
and it ramped up as well.
Yeah,
so it was really weird because on the one hand it ramped up, on the other hand I felt you were getting smaller. You wanted to make yourself smaller so you weren't in the firing line, as it were, almost.
I thought it was a very clever read, actually. I really enjoyed it.
Oh,
it was because you could have gone completely the other way with it, and you brought it in. It was insular, and it was scared, and it wasn't scared to anyone else, but it was scared. It was almost a universal truth to yourself.
Yeah, I just
that was Poncey, wasn't it? Sorry, wow.
We are in the media. Yeah, I just imagined feeling incredibly tense. And I sort of tensed my body up as I read, which is something you probably don't really do as a voice.
We talk very often about bringing the physicality into it. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's refreshing actually, because I don't tend to really do drama-y kind of things. So it's nice to have a go.
And is that a choice thing? Because you do a lot of drama, if you like. I don't mean overt drama, but a lot of in your reads, in your various reads that you do. So is it just something that you just haven't wanted to do?
No, I'd like to do it. I think it's I don't do a lot. I do some video games. I don't do a lot, but I don't think it's kind of, unless the character's kind of right for me. It's not something I'm particularly good at.
We all have to judge where we think we are on each particular scale in each particular genre, don't we? That's the thing.
Yeah. And so
I'm
going to give you script 2. You won't be at all surprised to hear.
No. You hate if the wild card is all 3 the same. Appreciate
yes, absolutely. So I'm going to give you script 2, and I want you to bring it in for me. I want you to be an angry masseuse. Or masseuse. What's the word?
An angry masseur. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So you're you're fairly angry through this.
Oh, okay.
So angry banter.
Right. Okay, angry banter. Oh my God. Okay.
And of course you're all the way through your work. Pummeling away.
All right. Okay. All right.
Bring it in, Mark. Bring it in.
The poor patient. Yeah.
It's wearing your heart on your sleeve, but keeping you cool. The noise, the chants. Points. That's points won. Points lost. To win the couple, just stay down. We go again. We march on. Win games and you'll be fine. Football, bloody hell. It's turning up and never giving up, isn't it? Meeting, triumph, and disaster. Dust yourself down. Drink yourself up. And face the arena. To coach, to lead, to deliver, to succeed. You just do it.
Wow. What position were you in?
I was over the top. That was quite a severe back massage going on.
Were you sitting on him?
Not quite, but there was a lot of spinal stuff going on there. Whether he'd be able to walk at the end of that or not, I don't know.
Do it. That was it.
That was a particularly tricky knot.
Yes.
Oh.
So
did the anger come out?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. It grew.
Felt like it was growing.
It was. So what were you doing physically throughout that?
I was massaging my hand as if it was a back.
Oh, were you?
Yes, I was pressing in.
Oh, wow.
And the more you press in, the more the anger comes out.
Okay.
As the actress said to the bishop. Yes, absolutely. So
Well, I mean, if you take it out of context, Samantha, obviously.
Very good, very good.
As always, we've put these scripts in the show notes. You can have a try yourself if you really want to.
You can. So, Jack, that brings me neatly on, actually. So you move between, you do short, fun, quirky stuff, but you also do quite poignant, heart-stopping reads. So do you have a process? Where do you start when you open your script?
So I think I've got the advantage that I used to be a writer. So I think I've got... it's quite hard to verbalise, and but sometimes when I see a script, I kind of know what they want, or sometimes maybe what I want, which means I can give them something different to what they were sometimes expecting, which is good or bad. In terms of process, I don't have much of a process as long as I'm kind of warmed up for the day and kind of ready to go and on it. Then normally I'm all right.
I tend not to do many rehearsals, personally. I kind of tend to read it through, get the gist of it, and then kind of go for it. I
just tend to go in quite early, especially for directed sessions, because I don't want to have like a kind of mental muscle memory of the script that is not what they want, you know? So, I don't like to kind of, not study, but like I don't need...
But not too many preconceived ideas.
Exactly,
Yeah. Interesting. I think quite a lot of people say that. Do you visualise, though, Jack? Do you put it in context? Are you in a setting when you are doing scripts?
I think it depends what it is. So like a TV promo, no, I don't think
just
so.
The man in front of the mic. Yeah,
exactly.
I can understand that.
Yeah,
because that's the way I do those too.
Yeah, exactly. I think for something like that, your job is to make it sound, if it's like a movie trailer or something, you need to make it sound just class. That is the context. It's very simple that we don't just, and usually on stuff like that, the sound design's absolutely top notch. Yeah. And you need to complement that, but and nothing else, I don't think.
You're one component of that much wider scale.
Yeah, exactly. The film that they're advertising is the thing, isn't it? It's not us. We just need to make it. We need to match almost the razzmatazz of it, or however you say it.
With trailers, I always think that knowing what the music is one of the biggest things for me.
Yeah.
With trailers, because they can make the context so different.
So the two scripts we've done today are just really good examples. Like the really well-written things. Yeah. The football script, it feels like the writer just gets it. And it's not, they haven't just gone to write something that's like going to sound really, to big these people up. It's getting under the skin of something.
Yes.
And understanding what these people have to do day in, day out, and is part of what their life is. And then we come in right at the end of the process, and then then you're like, oh yeah, you can get your teeth stuck into it and kind of do something that's quite quite fulfilling with a little bit different in it. Difference in it. Yeah.
Yeah, and different things appeal to me. I'm sure they do to you, Mark, don't they? I mean, there are things that you think, whoopee, I'm loving that.
I mean, I quite like commercials. To be fair, I do quite like doing commercials. I like commercials that are dialogue even better.
Because I was a copywriter, some of my favourite jobs in a day will be, quote unquote, the basic radio ad that is just a lovely, neat, written ad. There's
sometimes when they come across,
easier to voice.
Yeah, and when they come across your desk and you spot that it's well written, it's wonderful. And by well written, we also mean it's got less words than you'd think.
Normally, yeah. The best radio ads for me are the ones that really give you an amazing theatre of the mind setting. They're the best. I would rather, talking about favourite genres, I'd probably rather do the radio commercial than the TV commercial, because you are the picture.
Yes.
Especially if you get a drama in 30 seconds and then a payoff tagline. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Absolutely.
Or a comedy setting, or like a little, scripting a back and forth in 20 seconds, then having another VO come in and sell you something at the end, and making it one, funny, two, effective.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Jack, thank you so much. Thank you for your insights into your bit of the industry and to all of our scripts today. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed it.
I've loved it. Yeah, I hope I hope I'm interesting to your listeners.
Oh, you've been amazing.
All of Jack Oddie's details can be found in the show notes.
They can. And of course, all the scripts are there too. And do hit the follow button on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Look, please leave a review. I mean, amazingly, we get a lot of people kind of writing direct to us and saying how much they love it, but we hardly ever get any reviews.
We need the official reviews, yeah.
Honestly, you will get a shout out in a future episode if you leave a review, which does sound a bit like a threat, I agree.
It does a bit, yeah.
But nevertheless, go on, do it now before the end of 2024. Oof. Do it now.
I'll ask my mum. All right.
Yes, ask your mum, exactly. That's it for this week. Thanks again to Jack Oddie, and we'll be back next week for a real milestone episode, number 100 next week. Can you believe it? We'll have more scripts and another voiceover guest when we'll be asking, this is where we do it all together, Jack, we'll be asking again, how
do you say that?
How do you say that?